Good morning and welcome to a workday in my life vlog. It's actually been a while since I've done one of these. Yeah, I think the last ones I recorded were in December because I was originally doing Vlogsmas and ended up recording a few vlogs for December and then ended up stopping Vlogsmas early, so I know those rolled into January, but I haven't done an official work vlog by the time you guys see this until April, I believe. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Obviously life is very different, or it changes really fast in 3 to 4 months. But yeah, I do want to start adding some kind of talking point in my vlogs that aren't just me working on a regular basis. Yeah, basically talking about a specific topic or things at work that aren't just generic. I feel like all of my old vlogs felt like I really was just doing the same thing over and over again, which, I mean, you kind of are working a 9 to 5, especially remote. Since I don't go into an office, it becomes very mundane, I would say, especially when you're vlogging it. But there are a few things I want to catch up with you guys today. Specifically, the few are getting more responsibility at work and having more projects or leading more projects, stress at work, coping with stress, I guess, not really dealing. I don't think anyone really gets good at dealing with stress. The last thing is travel, a big thing that we're doing soon. So I'm really excited to kind of take you guys along with me. For those of you who don't know, me and Luca will be road tripping across the US. We're going to be hitting up a lot of the national parks. I've never been west of Texas, and I don't think Texas is very west. I'm very excited for this, and I'm also going to be working, or we're also going to be working full-time while doing this. That is another thing. This is one of the things that scares me the most, but also if I don't do it, I feel like I'm also going to regret it the most. Yeah, just excited to take you guys along while we're on the road, as well as if you guys haven't seen, I have a second channel where I'm going to be posting more of the travel-focused content. Definitely feel free to check it out. It is linked in my description below. I'm going to try to start posting a little bit more on that channel. Right now it's once a week. I would love to do twice a week if possible. Guys, look at this. Look at the cute couple. They're so cute. Look at you guys. Double E cat. Alright, we have this boba from yesterday because we ordered some on Chowbus, but then it didn't go through. And then when we got there, it actually did go through, but then they refunded us for some reason. We didn't know, so we ended up ordering another pair of drinks. So we had 4 drinks at the end of the day, and this is the taro milk mini taro boba. If you're wondering why we have our cats with us, so we are actually going to be bringing our cats on our road trip with us, and they are pretty used to drives with us. This morning, basically, I'm just following up on a few projects that I'm working on. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I have a lot more responsibility now. I think I mention this all the time, but basically when I was, okay, I don't mention this all the time, but when I was working in my first job, I was in a rotation program. So I think when you tell people you're in a rotation program, everyone assumes that you're very much early career. They're like, okay, you're, you know, fresh out of college basically, and they don't expect you to take as many leadership roles. Well, I guess I did have a chance to do leadership positions, but it wasn't to the extent of leading actual technical projects. So when I started this role, I realized that everyone is basically on the same level. Like a lot of my teammates, they have way more years of experience than me, but we have the same title overall. And that, I think, kind of changes things a lot when it comes to like leading projects, because in the beginning, in my first role, I was, you know, in a rotation program. I was very much early career. Now, we're kind of all the same level, so there's no, like, you only have like 3-4 years of experience compared to someone else who has like 8 years of experience. So like, you know, like no one talks about it like that. It's just like we're all security analysts. So I do think that's something that I have kind of like come to terms with, or like realized slowly, because in the beginning I'm like, damn, how are they trusting me to do all these things that I personally don't always feel ready to do, or like ready to lead. Yeah, I think that's, I wouldn't say it's imposter syndrome, because I do definitely think that there are definitely people on my team who are more, I don't know, credible or like capable to do certain projects. Yeah, basically it's just me in my head thinking about all those things. I mean, I don't think that's all a bad thing. I do think that I am more stressed, which goes into like the next thing I wanted to talk about, which is coping with stress at work, and have set timelines, expectations of me getting this done by a certain time because other things rely on it. And it's just like the expectations from a senior leader or another team or things like that. Yeah, I've definitely been thinking about that a lot, and if it gets to an unhealthy point, I do think that's definitely something to keep in mind, because I think the worst thing is just dealing with work thoughts outside of work. I cannot tell you how many times I've just like having dreams about missing a deadline, or like missing a DM from someone, or like an IM from someone, just like dropping the ball at work. I keep having these horrible dreams about negative work experiences, and it definitely doesn't help. And I think it's just my stress manifesting in different ways, especially because I try not to think about it too much during the day, like on my weekends and things like that. And it just so happens to come up in my dreams, I guess. I was reading my journals from like 2 years ago when I first started working, I guess 3 years ago. Basically, I was so stressed over these little things that I was working on, and to this day, I don't even remember them anymore. So, you know, when I get stressed, I just tell myself that to put things into perspective, I probably will not be worrying about this a few years from now. It will probably be like water under the bridge. I would have done the project, it would have been over, and if I'm not going to be stressing about it in the next 4 to 5 years, then I shouldn't be spending so much time worrying about it. Obviously, it's easier said than done because obviously it's still my subconscious kind of like plaguing me in my dreams, but oh, Bella. Yeah, Bella loves to explore, so she wants to go outside the room, but she cannot. She's a cat. But yeah, so that is my little rant of the day, I guess. That is my experience. Framing things into perspective is always good, as well as just practicing gratitude, like saying things like, instead of I have to do this project, I get to do this project, and I get to learn, and I get to work with these super smart teammates that I have. It's not like 100% cure, but I do think that it helps alleviate some of it, like based on like the wording that you're using to describe. I still haven't had a sip of this. I hope it's still good from yesterday. Honestly, not bad. Oh, I would also love to hear you guys' experience at work. If you're dealing with stress, I know right now is a very stressful time, especially with, well, I guess we're coming off of months of layoffs and recession talk and things like that. So I'm currently working on writing out a procedure for one of the projects I'm working on. Again, this is like one of the things I mentioned. I'm not sure there would have been many chances or opportunities for me to be able to directly contribute or draft the first version of any procedure. So I think it's also the part of cybersecurity that isn't as shiny and interesting, I think, as the other things like red teaming or SOC. So for the most part, you know, there is this whole other part of cybersecurity that a lot of people don't really, I don't know, like talk about online. I feel like when you talk about, you know, going into cybersecurity and having a security role, it usually is like, oh, you're on the blue team or the red team. And even then, they don't talk about all the documentation, all the report writing, all the metrics gathering that needs to be done in even those roles. Yeah, a lot of cybersecurity has like paper pushing, or not paper pushing, but like documentation, metrics, procedures, processes, guidelines, those kinds of things. I always think it's also not really as exciting to share in a vlog, especially because you guys are probably expecting me to do like cool stuff at work all the time, or like maybe not all the time, but a lot of the days kind of look like this, where I'm heads down like trying to figure out the best way to phrase a certain thing, or sharing or communicating something, or setting up some time to learn more from a different SME. Yeah, I feel like this whole video has been me giving like a brain dump. I am going to order or look at lunch. So I really want some pizza, but I'm gonna get that for dinner. And there's this place, I think it's called Two Brothers? Oh, Longo Bros. Longo Bros Diavolo pizza. Tomatoes, mozzarella, spicy salami, olive oil, and basil. And for lunch, I think maybe something lighter. Yesterday we had ramen and it was really, really good, but it was pretty heavy. I don't want ramen yesterday and ramen for lunch today again. And then pizza, it just sounds pretty bad for my stomach. And now I have to think about those things now that I'm in my mid-20s, which is crazy. We're going to go pick up some lunch from K-Town, and I think we're just gonna go to Woody Jeep. I don't know, I don't want to butcher the name. They basically have like pre-made Korean food already made. Yeah, it's very good. I really like the crab pancakes.
A little chilly. It's supposed to snow
cool
today.
Yeah, there's like a 30% chance, or okay, 100% for 30% of the ground, or something like that. Good stuff.
Do you like this location better?
The last one felt a little bit too far. This is it.
What's your John?
Oh.
Do you need any utensils?
Yes please. 2 chopsticks.
Thank you.
Right across the street.
Let's take a look and see what they got over there. This is a taiyaki, but it's a lot. I don't know. This is probably my favorite thing there, and it's the crab cake pancake. And we got a potato croquet. Finished my first set of meetings for the day. I have one last meeting for work, and then at 6 o'clock I have a personal meeting. I think I'm gonna grab dinner, so we're gonna order dinner between those two meetings at around 5 o'clock to arrive. And I'm so excited because that pizza is so good. I still think about it. Obviously not the healthiest, but I do think that lunch was pretty healthy, so I guess that's like an excuse for dinner to be slightly less healthy. I mean, some would argue that pizza is relatively healthy if you make it right. I don't know. But yeah, overall, honestly, it's not been as stressful because I feel like I've just been more adamant today on taking control of my to-do list and really not letting it like drive me, but I'm driving it. And then I also have a few to-dos from my call with my manager. Besides that, so easily distracted by my laptop, by screens. It's crazy. And my last meeting is at 3:30 today, so I'm gonna be joining that. Before that, I'm gonna touch base a little bit with one of my teammates for this project. I kind of want to go outside for a walk for a bit, but maybe in between my last meeting for work and my personal meeting. I'm glad at least days are a little bit longer now. So, you know, when I log off of work at 5 p.m., it's not dark outside. There's like sunlight now, actually. But yeah, I guess I'll talk to you guys after this. For anyone else who's struggling, which is really busy at work, I feel for you, and hopefully we can be working together, you know, under this. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. I returned the lights on in here, and finally it is not pitch dark. I didn't realize that this thing above the TV was also a lamp. So that's like the main lighting in the living room. And I just assumed it was just these like tiny little studio lights that were on, like those tiny things. So we're closing out the workday today. It's been definitely a day. I've been trying to, obviously from the beginning of the vlog, you can tell I definitely have been a little bit stressed these days. I don't condone, you know, I don't want to make this vlog and make that it's like normal to be like overly stressed at work. I do think it's still like a reasonable amount that I can manage, but if it ever gets past that, I know obviously it depends on you as a person and how much stress you can handle. That sounds so bad. Don't let it get to the point where it's like the maximum amount of stress that you can handle, but I do think that it's good to keep in mind like what that trigger is once you start working a full-time job and seeing that there are days when you are really stressed or anxious or things like that. I'm all about work-life balance, just being flexible with yourself. And if it ever comes down to it, I do think that it ends up being a conversation with your manager and your team. But the last thing I wanted to talk about in this video, I mentioned in the beginning, and that is travel. So we kind of already touched on this a little bit, but me and Luca are going to be traveling, basically taking a road trip across the US. Our pizza is here. All right, let's continue after the pizza. Yeah, it's a really small pizza. I put you guys on top of the litter box while I'm eating pizza. This is so unhygienic. Looks pretty promising. I'm excited. But yeah, we're gonna be traveling, and I'm excited to take you guys along with me. Let me know if there's like any specific kinds of videos that you guys want to see. But I'll still be doing the typical cybersecurity and career and IT content, which reminds me, I do want to make more IT focused content, but a lot of the travel and that side of things, the road tripping side of things, will be on my second channel outside of a few work vlogs that I post on this channel. So yeah, hopefully you guys will come along. It is linked in my description if you guys want to check it out. And thank you guys again so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe and turn on post notifications. I post videos every Wednesdays and Sundays at 12 p.m. and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. Okay, but first let's try this pizza. This is so good. Spicy salami really hits the spot. Bye.